How do you silence a fortress that hears everything? You don't whisper. You compose a symphony. And its guardians, forged from circuitry and steel, prepare for the opening notes of a violent conversation. A promise of steel rain, written across the heavens for all to see. And so it begins. The percussion section of a dialogue between titans. In the end, only the silence remains, a testament to the symphony's final, deafening chord. The instruments of overwhelming force move with a singular, cold purpose across the empty stage. The board is being set. Each piece moves with mechanical precision, a silent vow of what's to come. Inside the nerve center of Vector, the equation of the engagement is calculated down to the last decimal. The commander's gaze is not one of anger, but of cold, hard mathematics. The outcome has already been determined. 100 steel throats turn in unison, a silent chorus preparing to sing. The elevation of the instruments is a physical manifestation of intent, aiming for the sky to command the earth. Meanwhile, inside the soccer stronghold, the rhythm of a normal day continues, unaware of the music about to play. But experience is a language that speaks of patterns, and the commander of the fortress feels a dissonance in the silence. The tools of Vector's orchestra are readied, each shell a carefully written note of punctuation. The chamber closes, a single sharp sound that holds the promise of 1,000 more. The target is confirmed, a digital crosshair that represents the focal point of immense power. The first messenger is sent, not to cripple, but to ask a question. A lone voice ascends into the heavens, the opening note of the overture. It travels with a terrible grace, a silver line drawn against the canvas of the sky. The question arrives. Inside the soccer fortress, the first alarm is a jarring electronic shriek. The calm shatters. Orderly movement gives way to a controlled, urgent scramble. The soccer commander's response is immediate. This is not a man of panic, but of reaction. The first delivery lands wide, a deliberate statement of capability, a knock on the door. The fortress's own systems reach out, attempting to trace the origin of the unwelcome guest. And the fortress prepares to answer. It will not be a passive audience to this performance. Saker's own instruments of dialogue are launched, a swift and defiant reply. But the question was a trap, and the answer has just revealed the fortress's exact position. Now, the full orchestra is unleashed. In slow motion, you can see the physics of overwhelming power, a dance of fire and recoil. The horizon itself is set alight, not by the sun, but by the will of Vector. Psyker's reply is intercepted mid-flight, their voice silenced before it can even be heard. Inside the stronghold, digital screens become a cascading waterfall of incoming threats. The automated guardians awaken, a desperate attempt to counter the storm with their own frantic rhythm. A valiant effort, a few notes of defiance against a hurricane of steel. But the sky itself bends to the will of the barrage. There are too many voices to answer. The outer layers of the fortress receive the first wave. The ground itself groans under the pressure. A guardian is silenced, its light extinguished in a flash of brilliant, angry energy. This is not chaos. This is overwhelming, methodical pressure designed to find a single crack in the armor. The formidable shell of the fortress, designed to withstand anything, begins to show signs of stress. And deep inside, the tremors signal that the outside world is coming in. The eye of the fortress, its primary sensor array, goes dark. The giant has been blinded. The main gate, once a symbol of impenetrable strength, is breached. The second wave is different. It is no longer a barrage. It is a series of precise surgical incisions. From the perspective of the steel messenger, the target grows larger, its fate inevitable. In that final moment, the commander of the fortress understands the mathematical certainty of his position. The final piercing note, aimed not at the walls but at the very heart of the stronghold. A wave of pure energy expands from within, a silent, blossoming flower of immense force. The mountain itself exhales, a plume of smoke and dust where a voice once stood. The performance is over, and the silence that follows is louder than any sound before it. The instruments fall silent, their barrels still warm from the ferocity of their song. The objective is neutralized, a cold digital confirmation of a physically monumental event. There is no celebration, only the quiet, professional execution of a planned procedure. The pieces are removed from the board. The great machines prepare to fade back into the landscape. And now the quiet audit of the aftermath begins as the dust settles on the new reality. A scar left upon the landscape, a permanent memory of the symphony that was played here. Even the water that flows through this place is now stained by the memory of the fire. The embers of the great event fade, the last flickers of a tremendous energy release. The view from above reveals not a structure, but a void, a testament to absence. The surveyors arrive, their purpose not to engage, but simply to witness and confirm. Their sensors find nothing, no energy, no signals, just the quiet hum of a neutralized zone. Their task complete, they depart, leaving the monument of silence to itself. The story, it seems, has reached its conclusion. As the smoke clears, it reveals a landscape fundamentally changed, sculpted by force. The intense heat slowly bleeds away, leaving behind twisted metal and shattered stone. From this height, the scale of the operation becomes truly apparent. A localized geological event. The steady drip of water is the first sound to return to this place, an artificial rain in the ruined halls. Technology lies shattered, its purpose extinguished, its screens dark forever. The sky is now visible through ceilings that were once meters thick with protection. Sunlight penetrates the gloom, illuminating particles of dust dancing in the dead air. The very skeleton of the fortress is exposed, steel bones bent into impossible shapes. The tactical map, where great plans were once made, is now a mosaic of fractured glass. An empty chair, a silent witness to the final moments of the command center. The emblem of soccer, once proud and unblemished, is now a faded relic on a broken wall. The remains of the fortress's own defensive measures lie spent and useless. The outside world has permanently breached the inner sanctum. There are no no more secrets here. The path to the fortress is now an impassable river of rubble. The ground is littered with the unrecognizable components of a highly advanced machine. A tattered banner, a fragile piece of cloth, somehow endures amidst the wreckage of steel and concrete. The view from within is one of complete desolation, a window looking out onto a changed world. A standard issue helmet lies on the ground, a simple object telling a complex story without a single word. The mountain itself seems to mourn, wearing its new crater like a deep and lasting wound. The cracks in the earth tell of an energy that did not just demolish, but shook the very foundations of the ground. A single shaft of light pierces the darkness like a spotlight on an empty stage. Nature begins its slow, indifferent process of reclaiming what was lost. The sky darkens with natural clouds, preparing to wash the scars with rain. The last traces of Vector's presence are gone, leaving only the results of their work behind. On the edge of the devastation, a single, wild flower trembles in the wind, a symbol of resilience. The contrast is stark, the fragility of life against the brutal permanence of the event. The day moves on, indifferent to the drama that unfolded here. A final tour of the empty corridors, each one a silent hallway in a steel tomb. The communication hub, a place of 1,000 voices, is now utterly silent. The power core, the heart of the fortress, is a cold, dark cavity. The entrance, once a gateway, is now a permanent seal. The entire valley is now a monument to a single decisive action.